Sega has got a bit of history when it comes to pissing off its fans. Let's not forget how they shut down a bunch of YouTube channels a few years ago for some reason. I mean, they know how to upset people is what I'm saying. And you know what's a really good way of pissing off your fans? Denuvo.
Sonic Mania released on PS4, Xbox One and Nintendo Switch 2 weeks ago, with the PC version being delayed for what the developers said was a bit of polish. Now the PC version of Sonic Mania has finally been released, and according to Steam users, the PC version has some glaring bugs. And not only that, the PC version of Sonic Mania is protected by the controversial Denuvo anti-tamper technology. But fans were annoyed by this because the Steam store page and the game's own EULA failed to declare that Denuvo would be implemented in the game.
So they shoved some DRM in there and didn't tell anyone. In response to this undeclared DRM, users have taken to review bombing the game's Steam page as a way to voice their frustration with Sega's decision to use Denuvo. Sonic Mania is currently sitting at mostly positive reviews on Steam, with 72% of them being positive. The most helpful reviews are predominantly negative. Steam users have remarked that they are disgusted by the unannounced DRM and they will be seeking refunds as soon as possible. Some of the users have even accused Sega of using the delay bringing it to PC to purposely implement Denuvo, and they believe the delay wasn't necessary at all. Sega responded to the criticism saying, like you, we've noticed an error in the Steam store, not mentioning the DRM for Sonic Mania. We're fixing that now. This is a bad kind of PR situation for them, definitely, because you know, not telling someone you're going to do this is really bad. And what they should have done is kind of clear it up by not putting Denuvo in it, not by correcting the Steam page. This is a very upsetting move to a lot of people. I think mainly the problem is that they didn't know that it was coming, and then bang, suddenly it's there. And the fact that there was a 2-week delay bringing it to PC, then that's when the conspiracy theorists come out and say, oh, there you go, clearly just delayed it so that they could put Denuvo in it.
Well, it's funny you should say that, actually, because this is a bit of a serious controversy here with the developers and Sega. Sega are notorious shitheads, right? And everyone thinks that this has been advertised as a win for Sonic, a win for the fans.
Yeah.
And already...
proper well-received game.
Yeah, right, because it was developed by fans commissioned by Sega. These fans, this development team run by Stealth and some other guy, are already really pissed off at Sega because Sega tried to pin the blame of the PC version on the developers and it wasn't them. And in fact, in response to Sega saying, we've noticed that there's been an error, the developers have actually responded to the Steam comment saying, can you make sure that it's clear that the error is nothing to do with us? We would give you the benefit of the doubt, Sega, but you've already tried to pin the blame on us. Sega are already trying to pin the blame on the developers here for two things, the delay and the DRM. Now, the developers didn't know anything about the DRM. The delay being there to put Denuvo in could very well be Sega. Right. This string development note also could mean that Sonic Mania 2 might be off the cards. So we've seen the rebirth of Sonic and the re-death.
Death of it.
The remurder.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's not a good situation. You can see why fans are upset. Denuvo does suck. The fact that, like you said, this is a fan project that was made by fans, made with the heart and passion of fans. We all thought Sega had done something right. We all thought that Sonic was good again, but it turns out that Sega is still shit, and don't expect this good Sonic to last.
And they're trying to pass the buck straight away. They're saying, we've noticed an error, implying they've looked over it now and they've gone, that's not right. So who are they blaming there, right?
Standard practice for companies that they kind of detach the blame from themselves and like, oh, we were surprised by this as you are. How could this get through?
Exactly, but you know what? No one's buying it, and Sega, again, straining relationships with fans and that. So whenever they do something right, they do two things wrong. F***ing Sega. F***ing Sega. Can we first sample that in, Liam? Sega! Don't have me asking for it. Just do it.
He's going power mad here. Liam, sample that for me, yeah?
Users are also reporting that the PC version has broken control support, which for a 2D platformer is rather important.
Sega issued a statement on the game's discussion page in response to all this, which said, we're also investigating other issues like controller support. These are all PC-specific things that Christian and the team have been working on these last few weeks. Please bear with us while we collate and investigate problems that are being brought to our attention. Other than the buggy PC port, Sonic Mania has been critically acclaimed by reviewers and fans alike, who have been praising the game as a return to form for the franchise. It's been surprising for me to hear people talking positively about a Sonic game, because for years it just hasn't been. You know, the series has not lived up to the glory days of the 90s or whatever. They've got a good game made by fans, essentially. Sega have been cool about it. They've been cool about the whole thing. And then, right at the end.
Well, this is a thing again, and I need to just really ramp this home. The win isn't anything to do with Sega. Fans stepped in. They were so sick of Sega up.
The best thing Sega did was allow it to happen.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
exactly what they've done. And that's good. That's what they should have done. And they get a tick for that.
Let's talk about Denuvo then. It's been a shit show this year. Tons of games have been of Denuvo, Resident Evil 7 and all that. So funny because Denuvo were chatting shit. Oh, we're uncrackable 5 days later. Boop, here we go. There's been loads of problems with it because it's always trying to activate and check that the person's online, sometimes up to 300 times a minute, which slows down performance. So yet again, people that are supporting a Sonic game are getting a worse version. They're not constantly being asked by Denuvo to validate it so it'll run better on their system, and they just get a bit of peace and quiet. They can play it offline, for God's sake. I mean, just like the 90s, right? That's what everyone wants from this Sonic game. But other Denuvo games have been like that before. It constantly needs an online connection to work.
To the extent that developer will, once the game has been cracked, so say it takes a week maybe for it to get cracked, then the developer will just take it out because there's no point anymore. They wanted it in there for that initial, just to get them through the first week of get a bit of extra sales for that first week, and then they just take the Denuvo out because there's no point having it in. All it does is screw the game up maybe, and it's no longer protecting the game, so what's the point?
It's just a game. Put out the f***ing game. Don't delay the game so you can put this weird shit in it that stops people playing. It's a f***ing Sonic game. Just let them have it. I don't get it. What I do get is that Sonic has somehow managed to do a big resurgence. This isn't just a return to form. People say it's the best Sonic yet, and the fact that the PC crowd is so big and they're not getting to experience it properly is a damn shame, because this could very well be the best Sonic game ever made.
So there you go, that's the Sonic Mania over Denuvo. Were you annoyed about this? Are you surprised that Sega have cocked it up in some way? Let us know down in the comments. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this every single day. There's another video right there which you could watch right now, and there's a link to Patreon which you could follow if you want to support the channel. See you next time.